Okay, this video is recorded on, let's see, November 29th, 2023. Fall, obviously. Just wanted to do a quick video of pretty much most of the plants that I have here before the weather gets cold, because they're still looking pretty good. But I know once when it drops in temperature, like almost freezing and freezing, which I'm pretty sure we're going to get at least a few days of that, even though we've had such a hot summer. And even a few days of extreme cold weather is enough to decimate a lot of plants that are outside if they're not covered up or protected. So, without further ado, let's start from this end with the succulents. This one never fully recovered. There's a whole bunch of new growth on here. The Sansevieria Silver Sword, I believe it is. I'm not sure what's causing this. It looks like water damage, but it should have outgrown that through the summer, and I keep getting it. So, in my various euphorbia down here, one of my faves, I've had this at least 15 years. Bought it from Arid Lands, 2-inch pot. So it's been with me a long time, like a lot of these plants. The Pachapodiums, likewise, both of them. I've had them at least 10 years. Various euphorbia, aloe, kalanchoe, sansevieria. My Croton, Picasso's paintbrush. Let me go back here. This euphorbia, all I know it is as a zigzag plant. I know it's a euphorbia. I'm not sure of the species. If anybody knows, comment below. Thank you. Some romaine lettuce I decided to start about a month and a half ago. Doing quite well, I might add. There's some green bell peppers seeds in there also that I just planted in there not even a week ago, so not expecting anything out of that anytime soon. And more euphorbias in the back there, Uptunias, punches. Another fave of mine, my variegated Bucharnia recurvosa. My aloe in the back there, got a bloom coming up. My agave Sisal mediopicta. This here is Euphorbia disclusa. It's a top cutting that I chopped off of the plant in the front yard. It's growing long and tall, and it was top lopsided, so I cut off the new growth and decided to start it over again. More Sansevieria, kalanchoe, donkey's tongue back here. These are just so lovely, these hernias. Love them. They just growing so well for me. And this here looks like a seed pod, if I'm not mistaken. More aloe and Sansevieria. My Sansevieria Samurai. I love it, love it, love it. My, don't tell me, it's aloe. Oh, oh, don't you hate it when you have brain farts? Um, It'll come to me later, but uh, let's move on. Pencil cactus, it's not a cactus, it's a Euphorbia terricala. Um, Another Euphorbia. I'm still stuck on what that aloe is over there. Okay, back to that. I knew it'd come to me. Aloe Jasunda. Some plants I've had so long that, I know the names of them, but they escape me when that thing when you get old. A lot of my uh, plumeria have already got a touch of the cold. A lot of the leaves already dropped off of it, so which is normal for that. So, and a lot of my ginger that was just starting to come back after that harsh summer where all the leaves were coming in burnt. They were just starting to look nice. Now here comes the cold. My lavender magnolia. Right here I have my begonia lucerna. This big one back here is Dracaena Song of Jamaica. Brazilian red cloak. This here. Couple of Hoyas here that I recently repotted. And some not so lavish looking orchids down here that continue to want to bloom, but they don't want to sprout any leaves or anything. So we'll just skip right on past those. Alligator plant. Love it, love it, love it. The leaves are really spiny. I don't touch it too often, but I like looking at it. My recently bought, and it's growing quite well. I see all this new growth here on I believe it's a monstera, if not a philodendron. It's oh, no, actually it's a rapidophora dragon tail, I believe. Yeah, it's just starting to look nice and lovely, and it's pretty, and it's starting to creep over into some other pots here also. More philodendron, the silver sword growing here. Hastanum silver sword, my Jose, let's see, silver sword here. Not sure what this one is. I bought it at a flea market, not knowing what it was. This one here is Jose Bueno. I've had this about 4 years. I paid $40 for a 2-leaf cutting, and I have 2 pots of that. There's more on the other side of here. This is what is that? I started these from seed earlier this year. I'll have to come back to that because it escapes me now. But here, Alocasia Royal Shield, of course, Philodendron Brazil. Also another philodendron down here is Pedatum, Philodendron Pedatum. Burgundy something, I forget the name of this one. And I have a couple back here. I think that's modestum, philodendron modestum. Now the begonia right here. Slightly cold and water damage. I repotted this into a smaller pot about a month ago because it was in too big of a pot. This is a Pubicalyx pink silver. Okay, let me back up a little. My Croton Andrew, which is kind of reverted a little on some of the other stems, which look nice also. There's some tomato plants growing out of that, out of the bottom of the pot there. My Duranta here, also one of my faves. Schefflera, variegated variety. I'm not sure of the name. Here's more of my Jose Bueno philodendron. Looking lovely over here. My Burro Marx philodendron crammed in there. My Vanda that flowered for me earlier this year has another bud. Twice in 1 year after almost 10 years of not blooming at all, and it bloomed twice for me this year. I'm happy, and I'm pretty sure it knows it. Burgundy Princess philodendron right here, doing nice. I decided not to cut it. I just left it growing on the stem after all the leaves dropped over the cold weather. I decided to leave it there, and it's slowly growing back. Okay, on to the stuff over here. I got a Rojo philodendron Rojo. I forget. Congo Rojo. There we go. And my Gigantium philodendron. Another pink silver Hoya Pubicalyx. Okay, now onto the stand with my Hoyas here. Before I go on to the Hoyas, I want to show off this one right here. If you can see that, Dendrobium. This is the first Dendrobium I'm so proud of this. This first Dendrobium that I've ever been successfully grown, and it's about to flower with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stalks of blooms there. And all this growth is new. I bought this as a plant, a clearance plant at Lowe's earlier this year, way early, maybe around January or whatever. And I thought I was going to kill it at first because the heat wasn't doing it too well. But look at it now, folks. Proud of it. So proud of it. Anyhow, don't ask me how I grew it. It was just happy where it was, and I left it there. That's one thing about plants. When you find a place where a plant enjoys being and you can see that it's enjoyed, don't move it. Okay, now this is a Calissa. If anybody's wondering, this is Calissa fragrans here. It trails a lot. It's very, very easily to grow and propagate. All you got to do is drop it on some soil and it'll root for you. But anyhow, on to the Hoyas. It's my ciliata. I might have to change the angle of this. So my Hoya ciliata. Everything's doing nicely. You can see the drop in temperature has added a little color to some of the leaves of the plants of the Hoyas here. Didn't get any blooms yet. I know in one of my previous videos there were blooms forming, punctacles forming on a lot of my Hoyas, which, let me look. They're still there. The punctacles are still there, but they never developed, which is like, let me see if I can. Especially on the obovata, it had like 8 punctacles forming on it, and I just left it alone. They're still there. They never formed. They're still there, and they're never matured. Let me see if I can get one. There. They're still there, but they never matured. That's funny. I've never had that happen before. It's like they just stopped growing. They didn't dry up or fall off. They just stopped growing. So, but they're still there. My pubicalyx dapple gray, everything is still doing nice. My gray ghost Nova is finally producing some more growth points. After all, so I see one, and there's, if I can get the camera, okay, there's 2 growth points there on the soil line, so it's more than what I had earlier this year. My pubicalyx red, my carnosas, let's see, I'm not used to this camera here, so, okay, my carnosa, my pubicalyx red, this is another ciliata. This one looks like ciliata, but it's not. It's Majulid. I know it's a species from Philippines. It looks just like ciliata in the growth. Flowers are almost similar also. But my Hoya CV India. Everything's still growing and still green and still lovely. This one here I started back from, I had to cut back earlier this year because of the cold weather. And I propagated a few stems. This is, let me see, because I always tend to forget the name of this one, Daisyanthus. Even though it's one of my favorites, I always tend to forget the name of it. Okay. My Crinkle 8 right here, looking nice. My Gogiensis, I believe it's called. I know I butchered the name, but I have several of those in here. My obovatas never cease to amaze me. They're like growing all in between all the other plants here. So another pink silver. Got some philodendrons in the back. That's my Hindu rope, Hoya carnosa compacta. Philodendron Birkin back here. What is that one? Jeez. On to the next one. I can't remember the name. Somebody will tell me. Because, okay. Now, down here, with all my epiphreniums, you got the Enjoy, got the Silver Queen, got the Aria, and Manjula, and Of course, Monstera, Adansonii. I definitely need to come out here and go through these on a regular basis because normally that's how you remember the names. Um, Frequency of association. Uh, Syngonium pink something. I have a nun orchid that's very resistant. It been through its ups and downs here. Not sure the name of it, but I've had this many years. It's died and came back and died and came back and died and came back. And here we are again. Hasn't flowered for me in several years, but it's still alive. The fungi, Hoya fungi. My Obovata variegata is still hanging in there. Same as my there's a couple of yellow leaves back here on my Dee Dee's big one, or Skinneriana. My Scindapsus exotica, I believe that is. My Syngoniums, Wadelandii. They're I'm pretty sure the cold's gonna hit those first. Let me see. Where is it? Okay. Syngoniums Wadelandii right here. Syngonium alba. Let's see. My Philodendron glorious. More Hoya. This is the Golgiensis. I have a pink silver hidden down here, Philodendron pink silver. My mother plant of Philodendron modestum. And the Burgundy, that's not Burgundy Princess, that's a Rubescens, Rubra. Okay. Let me squeeze back here and look at all my clivias. All of them came from one plant except the one up front with the Fittonia. This is the Fittonia growing in it. This one is yellow flowered. All the other ones came from a single plant that I've had maybe 15 years. So this is a lot of history I'm showing you guys here. Peperomia, Polybatria, Raindrop, my don't tell me, Spathiphyllum domino. This is my vanilla orchid that's finally growing back. It used to be variegated, but it reverted back to green, and I almost killed it. And I laid the stems down in some peat moss and left it alone, and it decided it didn't want to die on me, so great for that. There's some up here too, but this is just starting to grow itself. Hoya australis that I didn't show on earlier. Hoya petriculata. This is my Epiphrenium Cebu Blue, which is not blue anymore. It hasn't been all year. If somebody knows the reason for that, let me know. Okay, let's go into the shed to the plants that I most recently bought that I didn't want to get tortured by the sun or the cold. Not recently, but yeah. I got Sansevieria. You have to excuse the mess because I just threw the plants in here and I got a lot of potting stuff and we're doing renovations. But anyway, I got a philodendron. I believe that's a white knight. It's either white prince or white knight. The one with the pink on it, it escapes me now. This is a Sansevieria Beauty Queen. My Dieffenbachia Camouflage. And what is this? Monstera. I know this is Monstera, but I'm not sure. It escapes me. Another one that escaped. I just recently watered these. These were parched, as you can see with the Syngonium pink confetti. It hasn't really perked up yet, but I just recently watered it. So, and my Alocasia zebrina, and a lot of my anthuriums and alocasias back here, which I won't really delve into because some of them I don't even know the names of. I know this is my variegated ZZ plant back here, where it looks like a lot of the variegated has grown out. It's particularly green now. Huh? And my ZZ Raven in the back. You have to excuse the darkness in here. There is a hole up on the roof where it's rotting, so that was a good choice to bring these in here because they're still getting natural sunlight and protection from harsh weather at the same time. This is a anthurium. I don't know what it is. It was annoyed when I ordered it almost 4 years ago. Another silver sword. Silver sword Sansevieria. This is a Hoya chelsea. I know the video is like going all kinds of ways. It's probably making some people dizzy, but I'm trying to get all the plants in here as what is this? Is this Lacunosa? I believe this is Lacunosa Eskimo. Don't quote me on that. Of course, you know, the very common heartleaf philodendron, but still nice nonetheless. My Hoya curtizii, which is, I haven't looked at the top of it, but I like to keep that as dry as possible, but apparently some of the rain was getting in there and damaged some of the upper growth in that. Another Carnosa, Epiphyllum, I believe it is. Let me see. I'm testing my memory here as I'm going along. That's another one that escapes. It's probably a zigzag plant. I think they call it a rickrack cactus. There we go. My philodendron painted lady. Philodendron brantanium, well, brantanatum, or something like that, which almost died earlier this year, and I repotted it in peat moss and stuck it in here, and it seems to be recuperating because all those are new leaves there, so I didn't lose it. That's all that matters. And my other philodendron. Okay, another carnosa and another. These are stock plants or plant cuttings of plants I just stuck in pots and stuck in here and waiting for them to show themselves off before I take them into the rest of the collection. That's another fungi on the left and a carnosa on the right. Okay, we're done with this here. My hibiscus terricalis never disappoints. I love, love, love this plant. Oh boy. More calatheas. This one's about to flower. Normally I'll cut those off after they flower. My another burgundy princess philodendron. My bird's nest fern. I forget what variety. Cissus. One of my lovely bromeliads, and always flowering pudica, Plumeria pudica right here with the white flowers, and the money tree here. Looking nice. Peperomias, obtusifolia. There's 3 varieties in this pot here. We got the green, the variegated, and the green one, the variegated one, and the one that's like in between there. Oh, the cold really hit this one. My I just noticed that. My I love the smell of the leaves. My Cuban oregano. Oh, the cold really damaged that one. Okay. My Spathiphyllum monaloa. And my few cattleyas down here, and I forget what this orchid is right here, but the rest are cattleyas. And more sansevieras. As I was saying, I don't know it must be in the water or something out here, because even though the sansevieras were growing, all the leaves came in damaged. So I don't know what's going on with that. And a lot of my other succulents here. I need to keep this camera focused. My kalanchoes. Let's see. My kalanchoes. The variegated ones here. This one here is not a kalanchoe. This is I know it's called red plume, but what is the Senecio fulgens? This is also a Senecio also. Candy sticks, I believe. The monodinium. I have 3 of these. I don't think I showed you the mother plant of all these. These 2 are the daughters. I'll go back over here and show you the mother plant. This is the mother, Monadinium. I've had that, as you could tell, the mother plant, the daughter plants are just as old, look just as old as the older one, the mother. So you could tell I've had those for a while, over a decade. I didn't show you the, oh, I don't think I showed you this either. The jewel orchid here, Ludicea, this color. So, as you've probably seen in a previous video, I had an older one that it got a fungus and it died literally within a week. I don't know what happened to it. I was dumbfounded. So, last part of this video, going to come out here and show you the bromeliads and the ferns and all that good stuff. Here's another Adansonii, Monstera Adansonii that attached itself to the tree. These are alpine gingers. I love my ginger plants. And Durantas, I believe, is that? Yeah, angel trumpets. This is a double white flowered one. I think the only one I have left. I had 4 or 5 of them, and the sun, and they weren't. I neglected them. They weren't getting enough water, so they kind of died off for the pots that they were in. If I had planted them into the ground, they probably would still be alive. But that's something I didn't want to do. But so consequences. Begonia torch. This is one of my aglaonemias. This is modestum. I've had this in one version or another more than 15 years. I have several pots of these. I'm not going to go into the names of these bromeliads because most of them I don't know. I'm just going to shut up and let you enjoy the sights. As you can tell, it being fall and all the leaves are in the trees are dropping their leaves and they're going right into the plants. But let me shut back up again. Another Calissia fragrans. This one is doing very well. Okay. More aglaonemias. Alocasia regal shield. Spathiphyllums, bird's nest. More this monster right here. And this monster right here, I've had this beauty. Uh, I want to say almost 20 years because I bought this as, believe it or not, a thrift store was selling this. It sold me if it had 2, 3 leaves in a pot for, and I think I bought it for either $4 or $6. I can't believe I actually remember that, but it's freaking huge now. And it's like new growths all over the place. It's actually sitting on a metal stand. Let me get on the other side and get a good look at this. From all sides. All kinds of growth points in there. Another Spathiphyllum monoloa. More bird's nest. Begonia maculata whitey. Begonia rubra that has orange flowers. It looks like a Rex begonia, but it's just a rhizomatose. What is it called? I want to say Gigantea, but it's not that. It's something similar to that. Immense. I think it's immense. Don't quote me, but I believe it's called immense. And more Spathiphyllums back here that recovered back from nothing. These were literally nothing the beginning of this year. But Spathiphyllums are really resilient. You give them what they need. You give them water when they say water me. You feed them, and you put them in a bright but not direct light location, and they'll always do well for you. And they always come back when you from neglect most of the time. This is Epiphyllum hookery. Oh boy. Dracaena that recovered from nothing. More Aglaonemas back here. More Modestum. This needs water. I believe this. You can't help it. You know, that's a habit, pulling the leaves out. Even though you know you come out here tomorrow and more leaves will be right. More of the leaves will drop out of the trees right on top of them all over again. Valentine, I believe the name of this Aglaonema, with the pretty pink in the leaves. Can't even really acknowledge its full beauty because it's buried up under here with the rest of the plants. So as you can see, I pulled it out a little for your viewing pleasure. Very nice, very nice. It did quite well up under all the other plants there. Like I was saying earlier, you find a place for them that you can see a difference, a very positive difference where they're growing nice, and you leave them there if you can. You know, most of my plants are outside. As a matter of fact, all of them are outside because the housemate has animals, and a lot of these are toxic to animals. As a matter of fact, probably about 98% of them are toxic to animals. And we already had an incident of having to take one cat to the vet, even though I don't believe it was food poisoning, plant poisoning. He wasn't taking any chances. So, outside are all the plants. So, when the weather gets cold, I have some protocols that I normally go through to protect them, to cover them up and keep them protected. More begonias here. The carpet was really recently renovated, so the foam that was up under the carpet, I decided to stay and keep it and throw it in the shed outside. So that would be a good protection to throw over some of these plants when the temperature really drops. It's not heavy. It's breathable. I know a lot of people like to put plastic on and over your plants to protect them, but plastic isn't good because it's not breathable. So I'm thinking the foam carpeting, the foam that was up under the carpeting would be perfect. Okay, so excuse me. Wow, where'd that come from? That'll be it for this video. Thanks for coming in and joining me today. I'll see you next time.